and welcome to the webinar. My name is Hannah Dyson from Hertfordshire Voices and GlobalNet 21, and this is one of the webinars we do on a Wednesday exploring local, national and even global issues. And today we're exploring a very important subject of homelessness and poverty. And we have Daniel Allen from Feed Up, Warm Up to talk to us today about this very important issue. And we're going to explore how language is very important in changing our perception of homelessness. And we're going to talk to Daniel Allen about his role as a volunteer in the charity Feed Up, Warm Up. So hello, Daniel, and welcome to the webinar. And could you start off by telling us a bit about your background and why you got involved in Feed Up, Warm Up?
Good morning, Hannah. I was introduced to Feed Up, Warm Up because I'm a local councillor, and Feed Up, Warm Up was started by a gentleman called Shane Cole. Shane had this fantastic idea to take his burger van that he had and to feed the homeless. So with that, he would then open up and give away food. Fantastic. Shane, I will talk about a little bit more in a minute and explain his background. But we had a word with some of the community officers within the council and came up that we could do more than just offer food. We came up with the fact that we'd be able to give out different bits that people would need, be it clothing, be it wash bits, lots and lots of different opportunities to help within the community in different ways.
And Daniel, could you tell us why you got involved in the first place? How did you hear about the opportunity to get involved?
I heard about the opportunity because the people that came towards me knew that I did care a lot about what happened in the local community, and I had a lot of contacts. So because of being a councillor, I knew that the council for North Hertfordshire says that there are only 5 people rough sleeping for the whole of North Hertfordshire, and that just isn't true. There are a hell of a lot more, and it's unacceptable that people don't see that what we think is the right number of people isn't. People don't take into account sofa surfers. People don't take into account the fact that there are people who are sleeping in their cars. There are lots more reasons for homelessness rather than just sleeping rough on the street.
Yeah, that's correct. So when we talk about homelessness, we are talking about rough sleepers and people in temporary accommodation, and even maybe a few more different areas as well.
Yes.
Okay, and so Feed Up, Warm Up has been going since December 2018?
It has indeed. So as I said, Shane Cole came up with the idea. Shane, really caring guy, and he was himself homeless when he was 17. He was brought up in foster care, and he, after going through many different homes, he became street homeless. He was street homeless in winter, which is just the worst possible time. And he managed to overcome that with the help of a fantastic charity down in Devon. He's now sorted out, he's got a brilliant job, and he's working really hard to give back. And it shows, it really does. But what really made Feed Up, Warm Up happen was Shane, because of his background, was always interested in what would be happening as far as homeless people. So he was walking through the streets of Stevenage, which is one of the towns in North Hertfordshire, and he met a gentleman who was begging on the street called John. Bless him. This gentleman was sat there. Shane goes over and says, "How you doing, John? How you feeling?" He goes, "I'm not good." "What's wrong?" "Somebody set me on fire last night." Now, that to me is just unacceptable. This poor guy was asleep in a doorway of a clothes shop, and someone set fire to the side of his coat. And he lifted up his arm and showed Shane all down his side. The plastic from the coat had melted up against him. And that was when Shane thought, I've got to do something more. So he came up with the idea for Feed Up Warm Up.
Yes, because I guess certain sections of society, you could say that they're almost forgotten, or it's easy to pass by somebody who's homeless and forget people who are experiencing that. So I understand that Feed Up Warm Up started in December with just one drop-in centre,
We
and
did
now
indeed.
you have 2 drop-in centres every week and an outreach facility as well.
We do. It's been fantastic growth that has come. So the way it's been, we've got our Hitchin drop-in, which we started, which is held every Wednesday evening. So that'll be tonight, and that's held from 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock. And it's at Our Lady Catholic Church in Hitchin. It's in the Scout Hall behind it. And in there, people can come in and they get a hot meal to start with, which is supplied by local restaurants. All the local communities have really got involved. And we're staffing it purely with volunteers. And I'll go back to how important they are in a minute as well. So come in, hot meal, clothes, you get food to take away, because we've found that people aren't necessarily getting enough food. They get it offered, but they're nice to know that they've got specific things that are relevant to them. We have a clothes bank. We also have hairdressers, free haircuts, free podiatry, because people that are wearing the wrong size shoes, we've got trench foot. It's 2019 and we've got people with trench foot. It's unacceptable. So we started up Hitchin. Hitchin ran fantastically, and we decided to expand to the next biggest town, which was Stevenage. And we're now based in Stevenage as well every Tuesday night at the parish church of St Andrew and St George. That is a brilliant venue as well there, and the church community have got really, really behind it. But we also wanted to get more involved and get out in the community. Now, we've done street walks where we walk along with a pull along trolley and give food out and clothes out. It's heavy work. So we have managed to buy ourselves a van.
Okay. And what's the van called?
The van is called Grace. It's divine grace. It is thankful for grace, and there by the grace of God go I. It is an ex-builder's van. So in the back of the van, you've got a proper toilet cubicle. Because if it's 5 o'clock at night and the restaurants have shut, the public toilets have shut, 5 o'clock at night. The public toilets have shut, the restaurants aren't necessarily going to let you in if you're homeless, and you need the loo, it's going to be a lovely opportunity. In the middle of the van, you've got a sit-down area with a microwave, with hot water, with storage, so people can come in and we can give them advice, food, and help them out. And that's what people want. People want to be able to be given the chance to move forward.
Exactly. I think it's very important that we give people food and the nail care, podiatry, but also helping to move people forward is equally important. So with Grace the Van, people can actually use the loo and access services like the CAB as well, like they can in the drop-in centres.
The van is going to be on the road for this winter. At the moment, we bought it about a month ago. We're just getting the DPF filter changed, getting a new catalytic converter, getting it wrapped and getting it ready to go. But yes, we will be taking out representatives as well. The main thing, and the thing that we desperately need to have more people getting involved with, is the mental health side of things. Because if you didn't have mental health problems before you went on the streets, you are highly likely to end up with mental health problems while you are on the streets.
Yeah, would you say mental health is one of the big reasons for homelessness? And obviously it makes it worse if you have mental health problems before.
I'm not a mental health worker, so I can't assess these things. However, yes, I would say that. Talking to the people that we're dealing with twice a week, not the drop-ins, and much more when we're out and about, it is definitely a recognisable issue, and it's something that we're trying our best to help people with and to signpost them to the right groups that will be able to help. At our drop-ins, Resolve, who are a local fantastic charity that work with drug and alcohol, are there. They will help all the time. Citizens Advice come in and help as well. They can point people in the right directions. And something that a lot of people don't know is while you're street homeless, you can still claim benefits. You can put down the job centre as your base, and you can claim benefits while you're still on the street, so it can still help you get involved and get started in your journey.
Yeah, do you find people don't realise that, and then obviously they come into the drop-in centres and they're advised that they can access these benefits that can help them a little bit?
Yeah, very much so. The whole point of Feed Up Warm Up is working with other charities that can help people directly. We've already mentioned Citizens Advice, who are just fantastic, and the work they're doing with Universal Credit is brilliant. We've mentioned Resolve, who've helped us a lot. Alcoholics Anonymous have been involved with us. They're a great charity. Caritas. Caritas are the Catholic Church's community charity. They've been involved helping us getting all of our paperwork together and directing us to different people that can assist as well.
And how did you get all these organisations involved? How did you source your volunteers in the first place?
Sourcing the volunteers has been amazing. The number of people that are willing to step up and help is just fantastic. We had a drop-in day at the church. People came into our church, sat down, and we assumed we'd get 8 or 9 people turn up and volunteer. We had 70 people turn up for the volunteers. We now have over 140, I believe it is, people registered to volunteer on our books, and that's between Hitchin and Stevenage.
That's fantastic. It really shows what communities can do when they come together. And do you think it's because people realise the extent of the problem?
I think the problem is that it's growing. The number of people that we are seeing on the streets is only going up and up and up. And unfortunately, because we've been so successful in our social media and our local papers, people have come to us and said, "You're bringing homeless people to the area." No, we're not. We're trying to help the homeless people that are within the area. Universal Credit is increasing the number of homeless people within the area. The fact that the number of homeless is going up and up and up and showing no sign of being helped is going through that as well.
Yeah, I think according to research by Shelter, I think the number is about 320,000 people are considered homeless at the moment, and that, as you say, that figure is going up, and deaths are increasing as well.
It is. The number of deaths is constantly increasing, and the amount of violence being shown to homeless people is increasing. There was a well-shared video on social media of one of the doormen outside a well-known London hotel battering a gentleman. I've had guys come in who we help on a regular basis with black eyes, with broken ribs, where they have literally just been hit while they've been asleep in doorways. One of our gentlemen that we help, I've had to give him 6 sleeping bags so far, and I've seen one of them floating in the local river where people have thrown his stuff in the river. And the problem is as well, their possessions include medication. If the people are trying their hardest and getting there and getting their medication given to them and they're getting it robbed, stolen and destroyed, it's awful.
Do you think it's to do with the way society looks at homelessness, the reason why they're being attacked or their sleeping bags been thrown into the river? Do you think it's kind of a perception that we've developed in society?
Not everybody. Because of the number of volunteers and the number of people that do care and have been involved with us, I would say no. The only thing that I would say and that I would definitely acknowledge is there are some people that will be negative. And as anybody that spends time on social media will see, the amount of trolling that you get is phenomenal. And it's like that in real life, unfortunately.
When you get on the train, there's sometimes tannoys with information saying, please do not engage with people who are homeless, or please do not look at people who are homeless and don't give them money. Do you think that needs to change?
I do think that needs to change. I think everybody is entitled to have the respect and support that they deserve. As far as giving money goes, that is a very, very dangerous area, and it's something that we do not do as a charity, and something we recommend that you do not do.
Okay.
If somebody is a drug addict and they've got £8, and you very kindly give them £2 towards their begging, they've got a tenner. A tenner will buy a wrap, and a wrap is something you can overdose on. So unfortunately, we do always suggest give food, give water. If someone is genuinely street homeless, they will appreciate that. Ask them first. We've got one guy, bless him, and he loves his chocolate milkshake. Absolutely adores the chocolate milkshake,
Yeah.
but can't stand water. Gets offered bottles of water, and believe it or not, he has donated them to our charity to help other homeless people.
And I think you were saying about respect, because obviously they're human beings, the people that come to your drop-in centres. And I noticed you've got a lot of music. You've got different volunteers providing all sorts of music when people arrive.
We do. We always have different musicians in, and we also have a regular guy in Hitchin who's amazing, Kevin, who plays the guitar and does these classic Americana pieces. Music is a universal language. Music can calm people. I've been a DJ for 24 years now, which makes me feel very old. And I've seen how good music can make an atmosphere go up and can actually diffuse that atmosphere. And bad music can start a fight. There are two songs when you're DJing that you can play together, and you can be at a 70-year-old's birthday party, and you can guarantee it will kick off if you play these two songs together.
Yeah, music is very powerful, and it kind of brings that human voice back into their lives. You know, I can imagine you walk in to this beautiful music. It might be a woman or a man singing, and then you're presented with the volunteers are greeting them. So it's kind of that hug when they come in, as opposed to being out on the street or being ignored by people from the DWP. Whatever it is.
I'm not going to get political. It's something that I do far too much, but being a councillor, it's something that I will always do. When I work with Feed Up Warm Up, that goes out the window because I want support from everybody. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on. If you're going to help us out, and we've had support from councillors, from Conservatives, from the Liberal Democrats, from the Green Party, that's irrelevant. The whole point of Feed Up Warm Up is to help people. It's not about who started it. It's not about who's going to take it forwards. It's just about helping the people that need it. As far as the volunteers go, we have got some amazing volunteers, and they're from every walk of life. We've got retired people, we've got people who just turned 18, we've got shop workers, lawyers, we've got teachers, we've got people that work so hard but still want to give up their time to come in and volunteer for us, and we are so lucky with that.
And one of your volunteers is a group called Football for Fathers. Can you tell us about them?
Football for Fathers are a local group within North Hertfordshire. They're a charitable group, and they have been involved in raising money for various charities. Recently, they wanted to support us and had a golf day where members of the charity got together, had a fantastic round of golf, had different bits and pieces on to raise money for us. They ended up with a huge amount, over £400, which they then took over to Costco and filled up trolleys for us, because physical items are something that we always need, particularly food, and they made sure that we got exactly what we needed. They're now wanting to do a charity football match, and we're going to have a team put together of Feed Up Warm Up volunteers and clients, and they're going to step forward and get involved with that as well. So that's another charitable event. We're also hugely lucky because we managed to end up with a big charity advocate on our side, which is David Croft. David Croft is Sky Sports Formula One commentator, and he's lived in Stevenage in Hertfordshire. And he heard about us because Shane Cole, who founded Feed Up Warm Up, won a award for being, I believe the exact word in the Comet Award was the community champion, because the amount of effort that he has put in to make these things happen and to help so many people. Shane really has done so well with this. So David Croft was doing the awards, thought we were brilliant, and said, right, I'm going to get involved with Feed Up Warm Up. He's come to do drop-ins, he's helped out directly, and he hasn't just turned up, taken a photo and gone. He's been there from 6 o'clock when we open to 8 o'clock when we finish. He's helped pack up, take down, and he's been mentioning us to people in Formula One.
Oh.
So our tiny little charity in North Hertfordshire recently got a donation from Tommy Hilfiger himself, who donated 1,000 pairs of pants, 1,000 pairs of women's underwear, 1,000 pairs of socks, which is just ridiculous and wonderful, and has made such a difference, because getting hold of underwear is one of our biggest challenges, because that's something we can't take second-hand. Second-hand clothes, brilliant. Second-hand pants, not so much.
So you've got support of Formula One and Tommy Hilfiger as well. It's
incredible how this has grown. There are so many charities, from WI to guides. We go into schools and do talks, and the schools choose to use us as one of their charities. We've done talks to primary schools, secondary schools. You have to decide how you're going to word things. I may not have gone into a primary school and explained that if you donate money, people could end up overdosing on drugs. It's not the best thing to suggest. But at secondary schools, it is, because it's what people need to hear. The world isn't necessarily going to be a fluffy thing, and you are only ever two paychecks away from being homeless.
Yes, it could happen to anybody. So you go into schools and you give talks and give information, and
we do, yes.
Get inspired, and they can volunteer for you.
Yeah. So the way that we've structured it, Shane founded us. I'm project director. We have Liz and Fran, who run Hitchin and Stevenage. They've been involved in going in and doing the talks as well. Liz is absolutely fantastic over in Hitchin. She's got us involved with a lot of different charitable groups. And Fran contacts people left, right and centre. So we have all the different restaurants that supply us food. We have restaurants giving us hot meals every week, and we have different restaurants doing it. We have a regular one from Mosaic. It's a very, very high-end Greek restaurant, Turkish restaurant in Hitchin, and they give us 30 meals every week. Every single week, 30 meals. It's phenomenal.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And all the people that work for Feed Up, Warm Up, they're all volunteers, so they're doing it in their spare time around everything else.
They are. They're all volunteers. Everyone is doing it because of how important it is to give the support locally. And we're growing, and we intend to keep growing. And without the volunteers, it won't happen. Without the support, without the fact that you have people that care and they want to find a way that they can put that out there, no charities would be able to exist without their volunteers.
And how do you see yourself going forward? Would you like to collaborate with other charities around London? Because I know with Grace the Van, you're hoping to maybe go to Bedford and London.
We are indeed. We've done street walks in Bedford, and we've also done walks and volunteering in London. We've been around King's Cross and St Pancras. It's one of the most rewarding things going out and about, but it's also one of the most difficult, because you see people at their lowest ebb. And if you imagine how awful it is when you're stood outside in the cold, in the rain, and you just think, God, I can't wait to get home. They are home. And that is just the worst.
And how do you support people to get back on their feet? Is there a way of helping them to get accommodation or a job, or how do you help people in that way?
At the moment, it's been signposting. It's been showing people how they can get in contact with different groups to forward themselves on. As far as jobs, Shane managed to set up a brilliant connection with Arena Personnel. Now, Arena Personnel are a local recruitment agency based out of Letchworth, and they set up a deal with us where we could get people that were homeless into work by using our address as their base address, and making sure that we had firstly interviewed them, made sure they were suitable for work, clean, sober and ready to go. The first gentleman that we got in there after 2 months got their Client of the Month award. He won an award for the amount of effort that he was putting in. He was cycling 4 miles to and from to get there for work. He was working incredibly hard, and he has done so well. Getting people into accommodation is one of the biggest problems we have. We send people through to the local council. We send them through to various local charities. Our nearest YMCA, unfortunately, is a long way away. They're brilliant for signposting people. We've managed to help one guy through putting him in contact with different charities to be getting involved. But if you look at Letchworth Garden City as an example, the cost to have a 1 room in a shared house is approximately £600 a month. Yeah. Now, the problem is you don't just need £600 for your first month. You need a month in advance and a month's deposit. So all of a sudden, you've jumped up to the best part of £1,200, £1,800. Where on earth are you going to find that from?
Most people can't afford that.
No, let alone if you haven't got any money to begin with and you're on the streets.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're working, you've got train travel to think about. If you've lost your job, it's difficult to find a job the next month. It's hard, and then obviously, yeah.
One of the hardest things as well is keeping hold of your paperwork. If you think when you're doing a job application and you're going back through your CVs and you're looking up at different paychecks that you've had, and I'm sure most people have got box files of all the information. If your life is inside of a backpack, you're not going to be carrying around a box file of paperwork.
Yeah, it's like a vicious circle in a way. You know, once you start that downward spiral, and you've got the backpack and you can't wash. You know, if you're on the street, you can't wash. And if you were to get a job interview and you turn up, you would be you wouldn't get, you know, maybe the job because of that.
We have a wardrobe of clothes for job interviews. We have prepared clothes as well, things like work boots and that kind of thing we have ready. And as far as cleaning when you're on the streets, baby wipes is generally the way that people work. And it's one of the things that we're always asking for when we do our requests for clothing. We have requests going out constantly for tinned food, for pot noodles, for baby wipes. We always have a list on our Facebook page, and Facebook is the best way to get in contact with Feed Up Warm Up. We do have a website. It's currently being developed, I think is the nicest way of putting it. We are focusing so much on actually helping people directly that getting the background things done is difficult, and that's where Facebook, which is what we're talking on now, comes in. It is such a game changer.
Well, I did think your website was pretty good. Maybe it's a little bit sparse with information, but it's very smart, and so, you know, I can see how it can be developed.
It's growing.
If people want to get in touch with you about volunteering or even collaborating, maybe helping you with Grace the van in the future, maybe a mechanic can get in touch with you to help you, how would they best get in touch with you?
The best way to get in contact with us is through Feed Up Warm Up's Facebook page. All of our contact details are there. As far as the garages go, I must give a shout out to Fuel Drain in Stevenage, Dom's Garage in Letchworth. Both of them have done lots of work for us at the moment, and fingers crossed, everything will be on the road soon. So yes, please contact us via Facebook. It will always have lists on there of things that we require. We will always keep people informed. You will see videos of the musicians that we have. You'll see how we've been able to move forward and help our clients. Well,
thank you very much, Daniel, for agreeing to be interviewed today and giving us all the information. And we wish you lots of luck. And I think the charity Feed Up Warm Up is going to go from strength to strength. You can already see that the way it's gone in the last 10 months even. So it's incredible. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Hannah, and thank you so much to everyone from Global Net 21. Really appreciate you having us.